West Side Story did not win for Best Picture at this year's Academy Awards, and that's totally fair. However, Ariana DeBose did win for her supporting role in the movie as Anita, and that is very well deserved. For me, she is the best actor from the movie. She's the best character. She's the most talented. And as I said, well deserved. Few words about the Academy Awards that just happened like a few hours ago. A mess. The whole thing with Will Smith, I think it was totally staged. I mean, the slap was, yeah, more or less real. But the whole thing was just staged because the ratings are just bad, really bad, and the three hosts were disastrous. The whole thing was disastrous. You can check out this post that I made on my Instagram account where I talk about movies and shows and pop culture, basically the same thing as here but a bit different, so go check it out. And there is so much virtue signaling and politics and pretentious people giving each other awards every year. It's the same people, it's the same movies, just a different poster. It's not even a different poster anymore. In this video, we're going to talk about West Side Story. First, we're going to talk about the controversy, the news surrounding West Side Story, which actually made me watch the movie 3 months later, because when it came out, I was like, what the hell? I don't want to watch a musical that is preaching to me about, things. It's a musical. Have fun, Afterwards, I'm gonna give you a quick review, then we're going to talk about the cast and the story, and then we're gonna talk about my ranking of my favorite musicals ever, and we'll see if West Side Story ranks somewhere. To be fair, I'm not familiar with West Side Story until now, of course. I did not watch the original movie, I've never seen the play, I don't know anything about it. I just know a few songs from Glee mostly, I assume. So when I heard that they're gonna make a West Side Story remake, or again an adaptation or whatever, and Steven Spielberg is directing it, I was like super happy. I was like, okay, musicals. Since La La Land we haven't gotten anything good. And then Steven Spielberg comes out and says, there's gonna be a lot of Spanish in the movie, which is totally fine, but it's not gonna have subtitles for more authenticity. And as I quote, he says, I don't want to give English the power of a Spanish. That's a movie, that's just a language. I feel like so much context and emotion was lost because people couldn't understand what was happening exactly. I do speak some Spanish, I did understand most of it, and I do feel like you can understand what's going on, in the context, but I do feel like so many details and so much from the performances of the actors have been lost because we don't know exactly what's happening. And I feel like it's so stupid to say I don't want to give English the power of a Spanish. That's a language. I mean, let me give you an example. There's a little movie called Inglourious Basterds, and there is this scene with the fingers. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. And I'm pretty sure the whole scene was in German. So imagine you're sitting in the theater and you're watching the movie, and then suddenly, you can feel something's happening, but because there are no subtitles, because you don't want to give English the power over German, there are no subtitles, so you're just standing there, and then they start shooting each other, and you're like, what the hell is going on? And you're gonna miss the whole iconic scene. I think it's a total nonsense. So why punish your audience? Why should they take a crash course in Spanish in order to watch your movie? That's ridiculous in my opinion. When it comes to the review, I must say that I really, really enjoyed the movie. The cinematography, the shots were simple yet very effective. The choreography was great. The costume designs were great. I think everything was great. But I realized when I started comparing it to the original movie and to the original story and to the original place and whatever, I realized that it's the story that makes the movie good. It is an adaptation, so as I hear, it's more or less faithful to the original movie. So you cannot really mess that up because you already have everything at your disposal. So it would be very, very difficult to mess up. So it's not like I love that movie, I just love the West Side Story. Exactly. So let's go to the cast, which is also part of the review. I as I said, Anita, she's brave, she's loyal, she is very heartwarming, but she's very flawed as well. She is not a perfect human being, and that's very refreshing to see, because nowadays I feel like every female character is like a robot. They're so perfect, they have no flaws, and Anita is just your normal human being, very, very passionate human being, and she was really great. When it comes to the others, I feel like the romance between Tony and Maria was kind of forced and felt kind of fake and unnatural at first, but eventually the feelings and the chemistry developed, and I enjoyed watching them. At the beginning, I couldn't buy into the whole love at first sight romance. They seemed weird together, but eventually, like, I don't know, 20 minutes into the movie, I really was rooting for them. They were so cute and they had chemistry even. When it comes to the story, you know, it's a story about immigration and differences, cultural differences. And that's why I also like Anita. She is such a good example. Actually, it's Anita and Bernardo who are such a great examples of the two sides of immigrants, because I'm an immigrant. I've been living abroad for so many years now, like 9 years. I basically grew up here. But you have most of the other immigrants that I see, that I know, are either like Anita, who are like so grateful to be abroad, you know. Everything frees in America, everything's great in America. I mean, I'm not in the US, but in the context of Western story. And then you have the other side, who's Bernardo, who's like, for a small fee in America, or 10 in a room in America, because there's so many immigrants even now up to this date, where we live in a very developed country in Europe. Until this day, immigrants from all over the world live in rooms with 10 other people, and they're mostly men. So when you hate the patriarchy, remember that actually men are the ones who are on the forefront of immigration. You know, they paved the way for their families and their kids to come. So yeah, so stop saying down with the patriarchy, so stupid. And then you have the story of Jets versus Sharks. I don't like the story, because I mean, you have the Sharks, who are the Puerto Ricans, who are the immigrants, who freshly arrived immigrants, if I may say that. And then you have the Jets, who are also in a way immigrants, because most of their fathers and mothers were immigrants. So I mean, per se, they are kind of still immigrants. It's complicated. But I feel like, you know, when people go to the US or more developed countries, they always look for a better life. So to go to a new country where you have so many opportunities and you fight other groups of people over territory that won't even exist in a year, it's the stupidest thing ever. And I don't like the story at all. I do like the movie, but this particular storyline, Jet versus Sharks, for what, you know? So when it comes to my ranking, where does it rank with all of the musicals I've seen? I haven't seen that many, but from the ones I have, these are my favorite ones. To be honest, when I say favorites, with me, favorite movie, shows, songs, they change very often. But from what I can think of, on the first place, it will always be, probably always, like 95% of the times, it's gonna be La La Land. I love that musical. It's perfect. It's really, really perfect. It's visually stunning. I don't think that Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling were great singers, and that's actually a point I want to make. In West Side Story, there were some weird voices here and there, but that doesn't matter, because they compromise with their charisma, with their passion, with their emotion, with their facial expressions, and that's super important. So when it comes to La La Land, they were so passionate, and that movie is a masterpiece in my opinion, even though the singers aren't as talented as Beyonce, for example. Then you have Les Mis. I mean, who doesn't know the story by Victor Hugo? You know, Jean Valjean stealing bread, and then Javert hunts him, and then you have the musical, and you have this huge epic story that we all know and love. And the sheer epicness of Les Mis puts it on forever on number 2, but still, like, La La Land is just a bit, it's something I prefer. On spot number 3 you have Moulin Rouge, just because it's super unique. It's like a fever dream in the best possible way. I really love Moulin Rouge. I would totally rewatch it soon, because you have Nicole Kidman, Ewan McGregor, and so many others, and it's insane movie. But I will forever give it props for uniqueness, because we really don't have movies like this anymore that are so bold and so bright and so unique, because everything is so the same right now. And funnily enough, I put West Side Story number 4 because I really enjoyed it. I think as a first time experiencing this story, I think it's great. When I start looking into it, yeah, there are things or two that, you know, are not the best, but in general, first time viewing, I totally enjoyed it, and I am a sucker for epic romances. On number 5 you have Chicago, but I actually forgot about Mamma Mia. But I will still put Chicago number 5 because, I mean, you have Catherine Zeta-Jones, Richard Gere, and Renee Zellweger. You have one of my favorite songs, Mr. Cellophane. It's again such a unique story. It's original. It's very well executed. It's high budget. It's great. Great acting. Great plot. It's great. And honorable mentions would be Mamma Mia. I love Mamma Mia, but I don't think it's that special. Even though it's wonderful, I don't think it's like, you know, it has that wow effect. You know, it's epic. And then you have Burlesque, but I feel like Burlesque is just meh when compared to the other ones. But so far, this is my ranking. West Side Story number 4. I guess one day when I rewatch all of them and I watch some new ones, because I want to watch new ones but I don't have time, I will update that list and it'll probably change. But I think La La Land and Les Mis will forever be... Oh, I just forgot about the Rocky Horror Show. No, I will let this list be, because Rocky Horror Show is just crazy. It's wonderful, but it's, I don't even know where to put it because it's so insane. So do let me know, guys, what did you think of West Side Story? Did you enjoy the Oscars? Did you even watch them? Are you sad that West Side Story did not win? I'm sorry, but West Side Story was great, and as I said, I put it number 4, but I don't think it's Oscar worthy. Maybe a Golden Globe comedy section, I think it even won. Yeah, but Oscars. But on the other hand, who cares about the Oscars anymore? I mean, No Way Home, where are you? It's not a masterpiece, but come on, it saved your industry, so be grateful, I guess. So do let me know, what did you think of this video of West Side Story, of the Oscars? Was the whole Will Smith thing fake? Yes, it was. Do you care about the Oscars? Do let me know down below and let's talk about it. And as always, I forgot my own intro. And as always, may the force be with you.